If someone robs your house, it wasn't a mere coincidence. They already knew what was inside your house long before they breached the front door. What am I saying? I'm saying that the thief or the mastermind behind the theft is somebody who has been to your household before. And chances are, you invited them into your house at some point. And probably while they were there, they saw something good and decided to take it for themselves. Just ask around. Men and women who lost their husbands or wives to a friend will confess that they instigated the relationship by inviting their immoral friend over for dinner or by inviting them to a social outing. And by the way, this is not just limited to relationships. It applies to just about every other aspect in life. It is always best to enjoy your blessings in private. And I'll give you an example as to why you ought to enjoy the good things in your life in private. There's no blessings in letting people in on the good things that God has given you. So here's the example. At one point, I wanted to travel and go up country. So, before you travel, you have to go through the checklist, make sure your car is okay before you start the journey. Otherwise, you might get stuck in the middle of the road. And that would be bad considering I wanted to go at night. So there's this problem I had. On my dash, I could see the DRS check light. And I decided I need to resolve this issue. So what did I do? I started driving to my mechanic. But he had tried before, he never really succeeded. So when I saw Shell petrol station, I imagined there ought to be a mechanic here surely. And I inquired, and guess what? There was a mechanic. So I told him, there's this check light in my dashboard. I need you to fix this. And he worked on it and it disappeared. Turns out I had a bad oxygen sensor. Now when I want to pay him, I go to my app for the bank. I'm trying to log in so that I can withdraw funds to M-Pesa, then I pay him. And it's been so long since I logged in, I got the password wrong. And they locked me out of my own account. So I told the mechanic, you know what? I need to pay you and I can't pay you. It's now around 3:20, 3:30 thereabout. Let's go to my bank. It's just down the road, 600 meters. In fact, it's a kilometer and something. Let's go down the road. I walk in. They sort me out. Then I can pay you. He said, okay. So we are flying because it's almost 4. I don't want the bank to close and I have a bill which I can't pay. And in any case, I have to travel overnight. So I need to put fuel in the car and do ABCD. I need money and I can't access it. I put the wrong password. So I'm locked out. So we are rushing. I was pushing the car so hard. And the whole time the mechanic is saying, man, this car is so fast. Is it because we've changed the plugs? I said, maybe, but either way, my main goal was to get there in time. And I did get there in time. I went, saw them, customer service. They're trying to push us out because it was almost 4, but they listened to my case. They solved it and I was able to reset the password, withdraw cash and pay him. Now, fast forward to a month and a half when I'm now back in Nairobi. I'm coming from Thika, somewhere around Thika. And I see on my dashboard that the engine temperature is cold. It's saying cold. I knew there's something wrong because anytime your engine is running, it can't be cold. The stick yard should be somewhere in the middle, not saying cold. So I stopped at a petrol station at Juja. It was a young mechanic. He looked at the car. He said, I don't see anything wrong. It's probably just your car display tripping, so you can just proceed with your journey. I did that and then suddenly my engine started breaking down. Funny noises when I accelerate. Eventually the engine shut down. The car came to a stop. And where did it come to a stop? Close to the guy who fixed my DRS issue. So I called him. I told him, hey, are you around? Yeah, just come over to the other side of the roundabout. I have a mechanical breakdown. I left the car with him. This was around 8 p.m., 7-ish, thereabout. I told him, you let me know tomorrow what you need. I'll sort you so that we can get this thing up and running. And that's exactly what I did come the next day. Oh, we need new plugs, we need new coils, we blew the gasket, so I sorted him, the car was up and running. He called me, come get your car. By the time I'm leaving with that car, it's not a Subaru. I don't even like noise. But the engine is sounding kind of like a Subaru. It's louder. And much as it's louder, it has no power. The way you could fly past vehicles, now it can't. You hit the pedal to the metal and no response. The engine is not responding. And I kept going back to the same guy. I wanted to know, what is wrong with this vehicle? He tells me, oh, I think we did the wrong plugs. Let's buy a new set. We buy a new set of plugs. Nothing changes. Oh, there's this issue. Oh, go put fuel worth 3,000, drive around, and then you let me know if something changes. Nothing changes. So I went back to my original mechanic. Someone else other than this one who I've been dealing with. And the moment they open the car, they tell me, your muffler has been stolen. And if you think it's a fake story, it's cap. Here's the tape of me getting the explainer.
Unasema hii ya juu,
hiyo iko sawa.
Hii ni ya manufacturer hii. Hii imekatwa.
Katikati imekatwa. Inakuanga hii, alafu mafla katikati, alafu hii.
Na hii ni ya juzi.
Hii ni ya juzi.
So moral of the story, this mechanic was working on my car. The moment I was speeding through traffic, he discovered the engine is very powerful. This car has a very good muffler, everything is running as it should. The next time he had a chance to steal my muffler, he did not waste any time. That muffler was stolen. And that goes back to what I was saying. If you have something good, you'd best not display it. But at the very least, at least this was a display of ignorance because I wasn't doing it out of show off. I was in a rush to get to the bank. But either way, you're displaying something to the wrong person. They're getting ideas. I literally had to threaten the mechanic that you either return the muffler, and I now just don't want the muffler because no one is going to do that work of cutting and using gas to, bring it together. No, we need the whole head. That's around 55 grand. So I told him, you either do that or I take you to the cops and then I take you to a small claims court so that you can pay for the damages. By the end of the day, that was such a long hassle, but a good lesson learned that if you have something good, you don't need to display it. That's how you get yourself in trouble. There's no need for you to have a good watch worth maybe 10 million, like we see some of the politicians flaunting, and you start telling people it's worth 10 million. It'll be stolen in under a week. If you have a good husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever good thing you have, you do your math, look at your inventory. Whatever good thing you have, don't tell people. If you have a good job, enjoy your good job. If it has a good pay, you don't have to tell anybody. If perhaps you make $500,000 and you tell people, don't complain when your last born is kidnapped and they're asking for ransom because they know you got it. You invited the trouble. Proverbs 13:7 says, one pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. So of the two, it's better to be the rich guy pretending to be poor and not the poor guy pretending to be rich. Or in our case here, the rich guy letting everybody know they're rich. It doesn't work. It's a bad idea. Take it from me. Now, if you enjoy such content, do subscribe right here on YouTube at High Altitude Ministries, or also TikTok, Facebook, IG, and I think it's just Twitter that we are not on really at the moment. But soon, with probable cause, we'll venture into that line of social. And with that, bye-bye.